Hi guys, it's Emily from Nobel Novels and welcome to today's video. This is my February TBR. Now normally in February I would set a smaller TBR because we've only got 28 days. But that's not happened this month. That's not happened this year. I've got 18 books plus 2 left over from last month. But my reasoning behind this is I picked books that I'm desperate for, because I always find that by picking less books, which is what I normally do, I pick up books at the end of the month that I'm not as excited about. Yes, it does allow me to mood read, and I've still got a bit of flexibility, because normally I read like 20 odd books a month, and I've got 18. I've still got a bit of flexibility, but these are all books I'm really excited about. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pink books, or romancy books, which is because I thought it's Valentine's month, it's romance, I kind of want to go gentle. I've got a few wintry books, because obviously I've got the books left over for my books to read in the winter. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do books for the spring. That video is coming up in February. So that's going to be an exciting book. I've got my book by my friend's favourite author. I've also got a couple of books by other friends' authors that have been recommended, because I thought, because obviously January, we had the readathon, the Past and Future readathon. So thank you those of you that joined me. But I have kind of ended up, even though I said I wasn't going to have reading goals, I've got my projects. So sneaky peek, this is the start of the project. So obviously I've got my Dickens project, which is going better than I thought it would. Every month I'm gonna read a book by one of my friend's favourite authors. So that's another one. And what other ones have I got? And I've got my favourite book reread. So reread from a previous favourite book. From one of my favourite books of previous years that I joined on BookTube, I'm going to be reading one book from one of those lists. Although next month it doesn't kind of count, because I'll explain that when I get to it. But I have kind of got 2 books from that are rereads. One of them is for the last book in the Page Tune buddy read. So it's my last old Page Tune book that's a reread. Can't believe it. Her new book comes out in April, and that'll be ready in May. So I've got March and April where I won't be reading a Page Tune book. Shock horror. But I might actually reread a Heidi Swain or a Cathy Bramley or something like that, because they're some favourite. That's another thing video going forward. I've got a couple of videos going forward about in February and March about contemporary books. So I've got some my favourite authors and why I love contemporary books, because February is about romance for me. It's Valentine's Day. March is my birthday month, and I want to talk a bit more about things that I love, and I'm not going to be ashamed anymore of loving contemporary literature. But enough waffling, let's get on with the books. So first one is I've only got one buddy read. That's another thing going forward. I have cut back on my buddy reads. But my one buddy read for February is The Break by Marion Keyes, which I'm buddy reading with Gemma, who's previously read a book Gem. And it is a mahoosive book, so I'm glad it's my one buddy read. It's 660 pages. I don't know, I've got The Grown-Ups by this author, but we thought we'd buddy read this one. Amy's husband Hugh says he isn't leaving her. He said he still loves her. He's just taking a break from their marriage, their children, their life. 6 months in Southeast Asia, and nothing she can do can stop him. But when does a break become a break up? A lot can happen in 6 months, and it's enough to send Amy and her extended family of gossips, misfits and troublemakers teetering over the edge. When Hugh returns, if he returns, will he be the same man she married? And will Amy be the same woman? That looks really good. That's my buddy read. Then I've got my 2 books that I'm continuing from January. So I've got my first, which is for the Tudor Long book, and that's Catherine Howard, The Tainted Queen. I'm actually going to keep that to one side because I'm reading my day's pages for that. I've kind of got, by the time I'm going to to be honest, I'll probably read a lot less than half of that, because I'm going to read a bit more at the end of this month. But I'll be finishing off that book, and then I'll be reading half of Nicholas Nickleby, so that will be read as well. So I've kind of got those 2. That one's going to be over there. I'll put that over there. Then I've got my 2 books for the Doris Along that Charlie from Charles Heathcote and Charlie from Charlie Brooke Reads are reading. So I've got Indisputably Doris and Doris Ahoy. These books are really short. They're the 2nd and 3rd book in the series. Indisputably Doris is only 250 pages, and Doris Ahoy is literally the diddiest book. It is only 150 pages. So these two will be easy to fly through. And ones that obviously I love. If you loved Our Doris and read that in January, please read Indisputably Doris and Doris Ahoy. Indisputably Doris has a bit of a bits where I cried actually in. And Doris Ahoy is really good. They're both fantastic books and ones that I can't wait to also reread. Got a few rereads, haven't I? So that's going to affect my TBR. Bugger lugs. Then I'm also joining in the FOMO book club. So I'm going to be reading Jamaican In. They are reading it over January and February, but I thought I would just read it in February. That is another one of my favourite books. So I've got quite a few rereads actually. But this I'm not counting as reread because I got my own new edition of it. I loved Jamaican In, and to reread it with these guys is just incredible. And it's about her mother's dying request sends Mary Yellen to the sad journey across the bleak moorland of Cornwall to reach Jamaican Inn, the home of her Aunt Patience. With the coachman's warning echoing her memory, Mary arrives at the dismal place to find Patience, a changed woman, cowering from her overbearing husband, Joss Merlin. I don't want to give any more things away, but safe to say, this is dark, it's gothic, and I think it's like a signed copy or something like that. It's not a signed copy pretty much, but it's got a beautiful edition. It's got her signature. It's not a long book. It's only just about 300 pages, but it is my favourite Daphne du Maurier, so cannot wait to reread that. And then I will do my TBR jar pick and then go for the rest of my 2 new projects. So let's do the TBR jar. Wasn't particularly a big fan of last month's one, but that was the one that was left over from the years before. So this is the first one that's properly from that I picked, and I'm gonna see which one I picked. Why am I scared? I'm always scared by the TBR jar. I'm hoping that because I made the TBR jar a bit nicer to me this year, I'm gonna like what it gives me. Let's see if I'm gonna like it. My fingers are freezing, guys. It's like -6 when I'm filming this today. Dun, 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 dun. And why is it today's the day that it takes ages? Shit. TBR jar's not been nice. I am going to cheat. I never, ever, 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 ever disagree with the TBR jar, but it's picked me a book that I do not want, and I am going to be kind to myself and ignore the TBR jar this month because I cannot do the one it picked. I'm not going to tell you because it will sneaky peek. I'm ignoring the TBR jar this month, so I'm going to pick a second choice because I need to be kinder to myself. And as you all know, I've had a bit of a roughie. So I picked another. Oh, yes! Yes! Sorry, I know I cheated, but I don't care. I've got a book that I'm super excited about now. And do you know what? I should have been good and listened to it, but I'm going to cheat. I've got The Last Reunion by K. Et Nunn. This book I bought full price at the Works because Danny from Danny's Book World, who is back on BookTube, recommended it. She said it would be one that I would love. And do you know what? I don't care that I cheated a little bit. This is what I need. This is exactly what I need for February. It's got 3 timelines. One is Burma in 1945. Second is Oxford 1976, and the third is London and Galway 1999. 4 women start this book: Bee, Plum, Bubbles and Joy, and there are 5 women, and Lucy are looking for adventure. That's the start of in the first timeline. We've got the second timeline that's in Oxford, the third time's in London and Galway. I cannot wait. I don't care that I cheated. I am... Thank you. I'm glad I did a bit of self-care on this, but yeah, this is just what I need. It is literally a book about friendships. It's not too long. It's 364 pages. Sod the TBR jar. I came through on the second go. I don't care. I'm sorry. But now to my friend's choice, because I've gone for a book by a friend's favourite author. My friend that I chose for this month is Alice. From Alice's Giant Bookshelf. It had to be Agatha Christie. It is 5 Little Pigs by Agatha Christie. I think that this is what book that Alice was raved about. It's a prior book, so it's not in one of her orders. I'm sorry, because I know her and Jem from Gem of Books are doing an order of this. This is a case of murder in the case of murder where A case of murder is a case of murder whether it's happened yesterday or 16 years ago. A 21st birthday is a time for celebration, a time to look forward to the future, to marrying your fiancé. A time to forget that your father was poisoned by your mother and that she died in prison when you were only 5 years old. Carla's coming of age present is a letter telling her that her mummy was innocent. Desperate to clear her mother's name, she asked her Poirot to go back and interview the original suspects. A stockbroker who went to market, his brother who stayed at home, a socialite who had roast beef, and the governess who had none, and the disfigured young archaeologist who cried wee 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 all the way home. Cannot wait. Not a long book, less than 300 pages. Thank you, Alice. Now, my classic my classics for 2023 that I picked, because it is February, it is a shorter month. I've gone for The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. It is a Diddy book, less than 200 pages, but it's been on my shelf for ages, and I wanted to read it, so I'm going to read it in February. Now, the rest of these are books that I've got some romancy ones. I'm not going to give you in specific orders. So the first one is my page tune book for the Buddy Read. It was my favourite book of 2021. Yes, because yesterday. And I loved it. It's got about fostering. It's got a little bit about going backwards and forwards to the past. Someone I used to know is my favourite colour as well. Look at this thing. At 15, George is a foster brother. We've got the then and now. At 15, George is the foster brother Leah never asked for. As the angry, troubled boy struggles to come to terms with his circumstances, Leah finds herself getting drawn closer to him. Theo has mysteriously left boarding school and is now at their local state school with Leah and George. When their worlds collide that summer, the three teenagers formed a bond they believe is unbreakable. And then we've got now, shocking news brings Leah back to Yorkshire, baby daughter in tow, but Emily's, yeah, but it's spelled different to my Emily's, father Theo isn't with them, and George has unexpectedly returned. After half their lifetime, have they healed the scars of their past? I love this book. Cannot wait to reread it. It's just what I need. Then my official reread is Black Flamingo by Dean Atta. I absolutely loved this. I think it's done like in poetry things. I absolutely loved it when I first read it, and Charlie from Charles Heathcote sent me my own copy of it, and it's a stunning, gorgeous copy, hardback, and it's just stunning. Everyone knows about Black Flamingo. It is just absolutely amazing. This is Michael's story. Join him as he enters the world and with tiny feathered eyelashes, travels from school to college where he discovers his flock and comes to terms with his identity as a mixed-race gay teen. At university, take the seat in the audience and watch him find his wings as the drag artist, the Black Flamingo. Thoroughly loved this. I read it in one day when I first read it, and I can't wait to reread it. Then one of my books from the winter list is Away with the Penguins by Hazel Pryor. It's got an older protagonist. I know that Nikki from Red Dot Reads absolutely loved this, and I think Jack from Spread Brookjoy loved it as well. This is about Veronica McCready lives in a mansion by the sea. She loves a nice cup of tea and a good wildlife documentary, and she is never seen without her ruby red lipstick. Although these days Veronica is rarely seen by anyone because at 85 her days are spent mostly home alone. Veronica doesn't have a family or friends nearby, not that she knows about that, not that she knows anyway, and she has no idea where she's going to leave her considerable wealth when she dies. But today, Veronica is going to make a decision that will change everything. Don't need to know more than that, cannot wait. Then I've got to read another book that I bought full price in the works, and that was The Prison Doctor, The Final Sentence. I've got the other two Prison Doctor books, and this one is more about, this one's set in the Huntington prison about deportation, so I don't know much about this one, but I know that it's hard-hitting. I know that it's my non-fiction book that I wanted to read. Again, it's only about 200 pages. It's really short and sweet, but it's not sweet. It's going to be hard-hitting. But it's the final book that she's written, so I really can't wait to read that. Then I think Chris picked this one. I asked Chris to pick a romancy, light contemporary book because I need something light and fun for February. Also, like I said, another big thing that I'm doing is self-care and picking books that I'm really excited about. And this is Who's That Girl by Alexandra Potter, and I think she's the lady who wrote the 40-something book. And I know that her old books are funny, they're light, they're cheesy, and Chris picked this one off my shelf. If only you knew then what you know now. Imagine if you could go back 10 years and meet your younger self. Would you recognise her? What advice would you give? And this is like the advice that this person's saying. Wear sunscreen, don't back away from those PVC trousers. Don't give that idiot your phone number. Lemon juice won't bleach your hair. It traps wasps. He's the one, don't let him get away. For Charlotte Merriweather, there's no need to imagine. She's about to find out, for real, with some surprising consequences. A bit of magical realism kind of thing. She's going back 10 years. If I went back 10 years, I'd still be pregnant with Mia. I would have had... No, if I went back exactly 10 years today, I'd be pregnant with Mia. And I'll probably tell you that tell myself that motherhood is way harder than I expected, but it's way worth it. And to go with my gut instinct, there's lots of things I would tell myself. And also to be true to myself. And don't try and be someone that you're not. So that's a little bit of advice, but this looks fun. So I'm looking forward to getting to that. And a book that I picked purely because it just screamed Valentine's Day for me. It's Sweet Temptation. Valentine's Day is special, but also in February, it's also Pancake Day month. It's where you get chocolates. You think romance, chocolates, Sweet Temptations. But obviously this is about a girl who's... I'm really worried there might be a bit of fat phobia in this, but I'm hoping it isn't. I'm really hoping it isn't. I'm hoping that it's about sort of trying to do plus size in a positive way. Maddie's getting it from all sides. Her bitchy boss at the radio station humiliates her live on air about her figure. Her glamorous post mum dropping no subtle hints that Maddie should lose weight, and her kids are embarrassed to be seen with her after a disastrous mum's race at Sports Day. Something's got to change. Maddie reluctantly joins a local weight watching group where she finds two unlikely allies. Jess, who is desperate to fit into her size 10 wedding dress for a big day. Lauren, who, despite running a dating agency, has signed off romance, or so she thinks. As they count the calories, new friendships develop and new secrets stir ahead. Can they resist temptation? Now, you all know I'm not afraid to say that I did go to a weight loss group about 5 or 6 years ago now. And I still eat healthy, but that's because for me, I think I will always be grateful for that group that I went to, because it did change me. I lost weight and I gained my confidence and I became healthy, and it's good for my knee. But I'm wondering what this is going to be like, because I think we're all happy. Plus, no matter what size we are, we should be happy in ourselves. That's something I've learned going forward. Enjoy yourself. Be happy with who you are. Like, it doesn't matter what size you are. You're all gorgeous in your own ways, because gorgeousness comes from in here. So I'm hoping that doesn't trigger me a little bit, but see how it goes. Could be good fun, I could say. Now, my winter book that I'm reading is The Siege by Helen Dunmore. The lovely Charlie from Charles Heathcote gave me this for my birthday last year, and I've been meaning to pick it up. He reckoned I'm going to love it. It's set in Leningrad in September 1941. Hitler orders the German forces to surround the city at the start of the most dangerous and desperate winter in history. Two pairs of lovers, Anna and Andre, Anna's novelist father and the band actress Marino. The siege becomes a battle for survival. It does look really good. Very hard hitting, but again, it's not long, which I like. But it does look really, really good. It's only about 300 pages. I'm really looking forward to seeing if I like Helen Dunmore's writing. Then a book that was, I've just put that back in there. I always keep my Amazon gift cards. That I believe was recommended from one of the Gemmers, and this is The Snow Child by Inouye. I think this is a translated fiction. It's echoing Snow Child, or maybe I should have picked it for this month because it's bloody cold. This is set in Alaska in the 1920s. Jack and Mabel have staked everything on a fresh start in a remote homestead. Their wilderness is a stark place, and Mabel is haunted by the baby she lost many years ago. When a little girl appears mysteriously on their land, each is filled with wonder, but also foreboding. Is she what she seems, and can they find room in their hearts for her? I'm really looking forward to this, and I hope I like it, but it does look gorgeous. It's a bit longer, but it does look really gorgeous. I might try and read that towards the start. And then a book that was recommended by Jem from Gemma Books. I will link Gemma's channel as well, though. And also, Danny read it this month. I think Danny read it in the start of January. And this is The Wolf Den by Lydia Harper. It's not my kind of normal thing, but it was one that I wanted to go for. And this is Amara was once the beloved daughter until her father's death plunged her family into penury. Now she is owned by a man she despises and lives as a slave in Pompey's infamous brothel. Her only value is the desire that she can stir up in others. But Amara's spirit is far from broken. Sharp, resourceful, and surrounded by women whose humour and dreams she shares, Amara soon becomes to realise that everything in the city has its price. how much does freedom cost? And it's the first in a trilogy. So I bloody hope I like it. It is probably one of my longest books. It's about 480 pages. But the fact that Jem and Danny, and I think other people have loved it, makes me want to pick it up. So I'm going to hope I'm going to love this. Then a book that I picked up, basically, another one, Danny recommended this author, and I thought I would try one of her books before I bought more of them, because sometimes when you pick up authors from other people, you're like, am I going to like them? So I picked this one up, and this is by Dilys Court, and this is Netties Secret. And this is, again, another bloody long one. What have I let myself in for? 500 pages. Got a couple of longer ones, but this is set in 7 Dials in London in 1875. Thanks to her hapless father, Nettie Carroll has to grow up quick. While Nettie is sewing night and day to keep the food on the table, her gullible father has trusted the wrong man again. Left with virtually nothing but clothes that they stand up in, he's convinced that their only hope lies across the English Channel in France. And Nettie has little but her dreams left to lose. She does look really good. I'm hoping I like that. And then lastly, a pink book that I only picked up because of Alice and Jem. When we all went book shopping in Woking, Jem, Alice and my sister Charlie all decided that I needed to pick up a pink book because they think that I like pink even though I don't. There you go. So I picked this up. And this is Jane Fallon, Just Got Real. It's actually quite a new release. It's in hardback, so I got it for quite cheap. You can fake anything online. I love these books. I think they make me laugh. When happily divorced Joni is reluctantly talked into joining a dating app, she is surprised to quickly hit it off with Ant. Phone calls and texts soon evolve into a plan to meet up, which is a problem as Joni's profile picture is of someone else. Joni daren't confess a lie, yet unable to stop thinking about what might have been, she hatches a plan to meet Ant in real life, without revealing who she is. Once she and Ant are an item, however, it's clear that the only thing Ant was honest about was his profile picture. He's still online dating and ultimately texting other women. Oh, naughty boy. So Joni contacts them all. They need to know. And once they are comparing notes on Ant, upset turns to revenge. I love the sound of that. Sounds really good fun. It's a bit of a longer book, nearly 400 pages. But I want to see if I like this author, and I hope I do, because it does look really good fun. So, them's the books for, I'm doing a Charlie voice, them's the book for February. I am super excited. I cannot wait to start my books next week. What books are you excited about? Are there any of these that you think I should prioritise? Are there any that you think I should leave for Valentine's Day? Let me know in the comments down below if you think what you think. I love hearing from you guys. I love your comments. They always make me smile. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, not subscribed yet, ring on my ding-a-ling. And I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.